And some of us have did it. We pursued things because you said God told you it was your season. But after getting denied or running into numerous of obstacles, you then start backing back saying, well, maybe it ain't my season. See, you didn't have the God kind of hope. You just was operating in wishful thinking. You ever heard a person say, I hope this happens? It may not be the God kind of hope that they use. It could, again, just be wishful thinking. I was hoping I would have got the job. If God tells a person that something is theirs, and then all of a sudden they start believing, and then they look again, and what God said was theirs is no longer on the market. If it's the God kind of hope, that person got to just stay there and know that that's coming back on the market. Why? Because it's mine. But if it's wishful thinking, you're going to start crying, wondering, Lord, how could somebody get it? And you said it was mine. And then you'll tell folk when they ask you about that particular thing, have you closed on that? Have you got that? And you'll say, no, somebody else got it. I was hoping that it was mine. So you're operating in wishful thinking. I'm trying to get you to see something. Circumstances never change God. Circumstances never move God. How many realize that? God is never moved by circumstances. God is never moved by what folks say. God has defeated every person who spoke against him. Not some. God has made a liar out of every mouth that opened up against him. And those that are currently opening their mouth against him, they will be made to be a liar. Why? Because God can't be defeated. God can't lose. Losing is not in God's vocabulary. Failing is not in God's vocabulary. God cannot fail. So when you operate in biblical hope, it's going to produce a saving. I want to show you this because, again, a lot of us, we be thinking we operating in the biblical type hope, but obviously it was wishful thinking. You see what I'm saying? Now notice in Romans, the 5th chapter, we're going to notice a few things that the word says about biblical hope. We're going to notice a few things that the word says about biblical hope. He said, now hope, in Romans 5:5, now hope does not disappoint. Hope does not what? Hope does not what? See, listen, you're not going to operate in the God kind of hope and end up disappointed. That is impossible. Now watch this. There may be times that we're hoping and it doesn't happen the way we thought it was going to happen, but that's not disappointment, because if God is in the midst of what happened, then though I thought it would happen this way, when God manifests, because I'm in biblical hope, it's always better than what I was thinking. Oh, come on. See that register with somebody tonight. Yeah, it didn't happen the way I thought it would, but when it finally manifested, it was better than what I thought. It was better than you're never going to trust God and the end result be that God didn't have enough power to deliver, that he didn't have power to heal, that he didn't have authority to do for you what needed to be done. No, that's never going to happen. That's when Paul teaching the church at Rome that you need to operate in the God kind of hope. Why? Because you won't be disappointed. He has to give you what you need in order for you to do what it is he told you could do. That's when you see David defeating a giant that his brothers and the army of Israel were hiding from and afraid to face, because their hope was in themselves. But David stepped up smaller than Goliath, but because he was operating in biblical hope, he put his trust in God and took down a man that never failed. Oh, come on, somebody. See, you and I got the capability of taking down things that are bigger than we are. But we have to operate in biblical hope to do such things. And some folks say, well, ain't nothing great like that ever happened in my life. You operate in the wrong type of hope. If you operate in biblical hope, you should be able to tell people of things that have happened in your life that when they look at you, you cannot explain how it all happened. Come on, somebody. Some of you blessed tonight, but you don't have 5 steps to how you got from point 1 to point 5. No, you do not. Not if God in it. And God is in it, you can give them step 1, but then you're going to say, then in step 2 or 3, I guess God just did this right here, and he touched somebody hard on step 4, and then this person put me on step 5. And they're going to be looking at you like, that don't make no sense. I know it don't. You can't explain a miracle of God. You ain't smart enough, neither am I, to explain a miracle. But see, if David was operating in wishful thinking, Goliath would have had his way with him. And that's the reason circumstances and situations are having his way with a lot of us is because you operating in wishful thinking. And now what you were boasting God was going to do, you mouse quiet about it now because you ran in opposition. I ain't had nothing but opposition. You see, every time God tell me something, I already know where you at, opposition. Where you at? Which way you gonna try? I know you're gonna try to stop there. I'm used to that. So when opposition show up, I don't drop dead now. I look dead straight at opposition and say, you got to move, but until you move, every minute you stay here, it's gotta work for me. The delay has to work for me, not, oh Lord. Preach it, Pastor. Preach it, preach it, preach it. How you going to believe something like that, Pastor? That's crazy. No, that's the God kind of hope. See, what David recognized is what we have to recognize. When God speaks a thing, in the eyes of God, it's about him. It's bigger than you. He going to do it for his name's sake. Come on, somebody. He going to bring you through for his name's sake. Because God is never going to mess up his reputation of being a flawless God. See, God got a reputation out there that says he can do anything save what? Fail. So when he puts me in a situation that looks like failure going to happen, I operate in the God kind of faith and I just boast. I just boost his reputation even more. I just make it even greater.